This is my first time ever posting to Reddit. I've been a Reddit lurker for years, but have never really felt that I had anything Reddit-worthy to post. Now I do. I'm an atheist. I place no stock in religion, ghosts, demons, spirits, souls, anything of the sort. I find it to be bunk, the epitome of human stupidity. I've seen strange things happen on occasion. We all have. Most are petty, easily explained, and just amusing. This was anything but. This was the first time I have ever actually experienced something that I simply cannot explain. I chose no sleep because of the creepy nature of the incident. This happened last night. As I sit here, it's 10 a.m. in the morning after the situation, I find it hard to focus on typing. All I can focus on is trying to figure out how and why this happened as it did. First, a little general info. I work at a hotel. It's part of a global chain. The hotel is not beautiful, but nor is it a slum. We are a 3-star hotel. I work overnight 4 to 5 nights a week, from 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. During this time, I am the only employee on the property. My nights are pretty dull. In a given night, there is usually only about 2 hours worth of actual work. I spend most of the night binge watching Rick and Morty, or South Park, or whatever. I walk all 3 floors a couple of times a night, and I make breakfast in the morning at 5, which is most of my actual work. Other than that, I'm just there in case someone checks in late or has a problem. Last night was a very quiet night. Only 15 of our 85 rooms were occupied, so I was planning for an easy, relaxing night. Until about 12:30, it was just that. I hardly saw a person. Around 12:30, the phone rang at the desk. I paused my show, South Park, and answered, glancing at the phone first to see if it was a guest room or an outside line. Which one it was would dictate what I say. The display read room 209, so I said, "Front desk, this is Sean." The conversation went as such. Her. "Hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm in room 209 and the woman next door to me is being very loud. I can't sleep and I have to get up in 4 hours." Me. "I apologize, miss. I'll give the room a call. If they don't answer, I'll come upstairs and knock on their door and ask them to quiet down. Which side of you is she on?" Her. "Hold on." Here, I heard her set the phone down. Then I heard a door open. A few seconds later, the door shut. Then she picked up the phone again. Her. "Hello?" Me. "Yes, I'm still here." Her. "If I look out the door, it is the room on my left, which is 211. Me. "Okay, I'm sorry. I'll get it sorted out." Her. "Thank you. Good night." I hung up the phone, picked it back up, and dialed 211. There was no answer. I looked on the computer to see who was in 211, so I could address her by name when I knocked. I pulled up the in-house list and scrolled down to discover that room 211 is supposed to be vacant. Now, I was annoyed. This was not the first time this has happened. Some people will switch a guest to a different room and forget to change it in the system. This is a problem for obvious reasons. You may send a guest to a room that is already occupied. Big no-no. So it pisses me off when people do this. This meant that not only did I have to go upstairs and tell her to pipe down, but now I had to ask her what her last name is, so I could find her in the system and switch her room. I switched the phone line to the cordless phone, put the phone in my pocket, put the sign up on the desk that says front desk will return shortly, and headed upstairs. I approached the room and knocked on the door. Nothing. I knocked a little louder. "Front desk!" I called through the door. Nothing. Nor could I hear any noises from inside. Suddenly, the door to 209 opened. The woman who called me poked her head out, having heard me in the hall knocking and calling. "She stopped about 2 minutes ago," she said. "But thank you for coming up." "Well, she seems to have quieted down now," I said. "So I guess call me again if she starts being noisy." "I will." With that, she shut the door. Her problem was over, for now. Mine, however, was not. I still had to figure out who was in 211 and correct the error. I knocked one more time, got no answer, and decided to make a judgment call and take a chance. I was going to use my master key and open the door. We would normally not do this, but the facts were that the room was supposed to be empty, and I myself hadn't heard anything from the room. So officially, I decided that the room was to be considered empty. I slipped my keycard into the slot and watched the light flash green. I turned the knob, half expecting the door to be deadbolted from the inside, as most guests do this when they are in for the night. It was not deadbolted, and I swung the door open. Then, I stood there for a moment, perplexed. The room was empty. Not in the sense that the guest had stepped out to go to the vending machine. The room was untouched, left exactly as the housekeepers left it. I looked around the bathroom and closet and was satisfied that the room was vacant. I was weirded out, but also relieved. The woman had been mistaken, and the sound was coming from somewhere else. No rooms were wrong in the system like I'd thought. I made a mental note to check room 207, the room on the other side of 209, in the computer when I got downstairs. It probably came from that room, and they had just finally gone to sleep. But I did not have a chance to check the system. I did not even get a chance to get down to the first floor. A few seconds after calling the elevator, before it arrived, the cordless phone rang in my pocket. I took it out, looked at the little LCD display, and froze. The display said room 211. I looked back down the hall toward the room, pushing irrational thoughts out of my head. It went silent in the hotel, save for the ringing phone in my hand. Nobody had gone in or out of the room, as far as I could tell. Well, I thought, ignoring the uncontrollable sense of dread that was welling up in me. Now, I can finally get to the bottom of this. I answered the phone. Front desk, this is Sean. Woman, sounding angry. Did somebody just come into my room? Me. Ma'am, what room are you in? Woman. I'm in 211. Somebody opened the door a moment ago, walked through the room, and left. I'm trying to sleep in here. Who is in my room? This is where I really started freaking out. Was somebody messing with me? No. How could they change the room number as it appears on our phone system? But if that wasn't the case, then how was I talking to this woman? I literally could not think of a reply. I could not think of what to do. Call the police? No. What would I tell them? That we have an unauthorized guest in the hotel who called me from a vacant room? And that nobody has actually seen this woman? Then it hit me. I was still on the second floor. I had this woman on the phone. All I had to do was keep her on the phone while I walked back to 211. I couldn't think of what to say to her, so I just decided to be honest. I slowly started back toward 209. Me. Ma'am, we had a complaint about noise from your room, but it looks like an error was made in our system and your room is still listed as vacant. Could you tell me your last name? Her. My last name is... I'll censor her name here for confidential reasons. I've been here for 3 nights so far. Why the hell are people coming into my room? She was sounding more upset now. I was typing her last name on my cell phone so as not to forget it. Well, ma'am, as I said, the room was listed as empty, and we got a complaint about noise. So I knocked, then went in to investigate, but the room looked empty. At this point, I was only a few stops from 211. I approached the door as the woman got more upset. Her. Noise? I've been asleep for hours until someone barged into... That point, right there, halfway into what I'm sure was going to be barge into my room, was when I knocked on the door. I was listening to her on the phone, and I reached up and knocked. The moment my hand made contact with the door, the line got cut off. Immediately, I took out my master key and burst into the room to find nothing. Just an empty room, left in order by the housekeepers. Exactly as it was before. I slammed the door behind me and frantically searched every corner of the room. Nothing. I searched every place that a human being could hide, even in the fridge. Nothing. Now, I was very freaked out. I ran out and ran down to the front desk, my heart beating so hard I could literally hear it. The first thing I did was search the system for the name she gave me. We had no record of anyone ever making a reservation under that name. For the next couple hours, I was on edge, just sitting at the desk, glancing around like a nervous lizard, darting my eyes this way and that. Everything seemed to move in my peripherals, a symptom of my fear. I guess I wouldn't call it fear, more of a sense of a disturbance. Like reality had suddenly hit a bump or had a glitch, with the inescapable feeling that it was not over, and more was going to happen any second. But it never did. Eventually, I had to make breakfast. That helped distract me, and then, to my relief, a couple of my regular guests came down for breakfast. It was comforting to talk with a familiar face. It helped calm my nerves. Of course, I mentioned nothing of this to them, or to my manager when he relieved me. I haven't heard from the woman again, but I did see the woman who initially complained. I thought about pulling her aside and talking to her about it, but I thought better of the idea. After all, she hadn't seen the room. She hadn't seen it all in order, empty. All she knew is that there was noise in the next room. She called me and complained, and the noise stopped, and nobody would answer the door. If I started telling her about my phantom woman, she would think I was crazy. I couldn't blame her. I myself have been battling with my mind, trying to figure out if I may be having some sort of mental breakdown that caused hallucinations, or if what I saw and heard really is what happened. I'm not at the point of actually talking to a psychiatrist, but I am concerned. The only comfort I have is the knowledge that most people who are crazy, loose term, don't usually suspect it. The old saying, crazy people don't know they're crazy, often rings true. Well, that's about the long and short of it. I won't be able to post this till I get to work this evening because I get no reception at my house. I'll make an account on Reddit when I get in. And this will be my first post, probably about 11 p.m. or shortly thereafter. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and tell me what you thought of this narration. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for updates, and if you'd like to get early videos, shoutouts, high quality MP3 downloads of my narrations, and much more, I'd appreciate it if you check out my Patreon page. It's a place where you can help support my channel while getting awesome rewards in the process, and every pledge helps out a ton, no matter the size. So if you'd like to see all the rewards I offer and consider becoming a patron, it'd mean a ton to me if you'd click the link in the description and just check it out. And don't forget to show some love to the amazingly talented authors who make these narrations possible. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers.